suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don come, oh, yo.
Bonjour, Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo, Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Thank you very much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun live, and do me one favor. If you are watching on YouTube and you are yet to subscribe to Maiyegun's diary politico, please do so before we get started. And on Facebook as well, if this is your first time of watching Maiyegun, you are welcome. So you can also follow and join Maiyegun's diary on whichever platform you are currently watching from. Subscribe if you are watching on Facebook, on YouTube, and then set your notification on. This bell, there's this bell beside the subscription, the subscribe button. So use that so that whenever Maiyegun is not on Facebook, you will be able to know whenever Maiyegun is live on YouTube. So thank you very much. And if you're watching me on YouTube as well, remember this: hit that punch that like button as you are joining before you get so relaxed into this. So the caption of the broadcast today is about the alarm raised by the governor of Oyo State. The alarm came as a commendation for the work the Amotekun comrades, the Amotekun corps are doing in Oyo State. But there is also a very, very vital information expose there from the governor that every Yoruba son and daughter should be concerned about. Early this year, the Are Onakakanfo of Yorubaland, Iba Gani Adams, raised alarm about the infiltration, the invasion of Yorubaland through the border that Yoruba share with other West African countries, in Oyo State in particular. You know, there was a time that we saw some of Nigerian Agbekoyas, the hunters, even Sunday Igboho joined them in raiding the forest in Kishi, Oyo State. So where they found so many illegal people occupying those forests, and they chased them away. We don't know what happened after that, because from the video from the video I saw of Sunday Igboho leading these hunters and all of them into the bush, they said they have already apprehended some of these terrorists. They've disarmed them. 2 or 3 of them were killed. This was way back in, if I can remember vividly, it was way back in August or thereabouts this year. So 4 months ago, that same August, Onokakanfo raised another alarm that Shaki area, all those areas have been infiltrated and occupied by these invading Malians or these invading terrorists. The governor of Oyo State described them as bandits, because that is the popular language being used by the Nigerian media. But that is not the right description of these people. They are terrorists who have been invited. They have been invited to come to Nigeria the moment they know that they have a Fulani terrorist in charge as well. Now, do not mistake him. Don't let anybody try to pull wool over your eyes, okay, in this. The same technique used in infiltrating the northern Nigeria. Before now, northern Nigeria was known for the religious violence, riots, all this kind of city destruction and all of that. Terrorism was completely out of the game until they saw the political advantage of that. Now, when they came to power, from what El Rufaya, the Kaduna little finger, what he said when they came to power was that he traveled across West Africa, telling all the Fulanis that they can come to Nigeria, because Nigeria, their brother is now in charge, and they are welcome to Nigeria from the beginning after they took over in 2015. After that, another governor, Bauchi State Governor, the current Bauchi State Governor, the former PDP minister too, also said, what is wrong? Every Fulani you see anywhere is a Nigerian. We have brothers, we have sisters, we have families across Africa. So they are welcome to be, if they want to be Nigerians, they are free to be Nigerians. So what that simply means is that the message out there is that they are welcome, but they have no place for them. Even among themselves, where they classify themselves as northerners, people with one interest, you would say, right? They have no plan for them. So they started a plot they called Ruga. After inviting them over, you are welcome, walk in, the borders are opened. When we are talking about porous borders in the northern Nigeria, we have porous borders in the southern Nigeria too. For those of you who knows your state in Yorubaland now, we share border in Ogun State, we share borders with Benin Republic, Togo and all those places. In Oyo State, Yorubas share borders with Mali and some other West African states too, including Benin Republic, right? On and on like that. If you go to the other southern part of Nigeria, if you go to Calabar, we also share border with who? We share border with all these West African countries. So you are surrounded more or less like in the middle, but close to the Atlantic. So that's what they did. They had no plan for them. They started saying you needed to give up your land, or your life. So they made that a national policy, which led to a national uproar among those who rejected Ruga, even though the person that is championing Ruga in Nigeria is a Yoruba man. Vice President, the Kenneth Shatabandu, your favorite star boy, fake Pastor Ruga, is the man championing Ruga and the spokesperson for Ruga in Nigeria, for them to disguise what the intention of taking your land and giving the lands to strangers. They intentionally invited with no provision for them, just like there's no provision for Nigerians. In Nigeria, they have no provision for anybody. So they told them to come and they are welcome, but there's no provision for them until they started killing, destroying farms, destroying, farmlands and all of that. So they now decided to develop a national policy. What was the national policy? give up your land or you give up your life. Yorubas vehemently rejected that, including those who are like the bootlickers, the ass lickers, those who are the leaders of APC, Egbekegbe, in Yorubaland. They couldn't change it. They had to accept the verdict of their people. Yorubas protested. The Igbos made it known. No, don't even come here. Don't even try it. Some Igbo governors used their own simple political way to give some level of to compromise. And today, that is creating a lot of bad blood in the eastern part of Nigeria, because the people who own the land, the people are saying no to Ruga. Their governors are saying yes to another thing that they are hiding from their people. And as we speak right now, the same governors who are supposed to be genuinely saying no to Ruga, they are the governors who are going to stage war against the ESN, Eastern Security Network, because Eastern Security Network is genuinely against Ruga giving up your land to people you don't know from where they come from. Do you get that now? So Ruga failed in many parts of Nigeria. But what the government didn't tell you was that, yes, there are some northern states who agreed to give hundreds of thousands of acres of land for Ruga. But the purpose of Ruga, or the purpose of inviting these people, is not because they want to settle them down where they will possibly be much like comfortable, I'll say, where the culture, the religion, and the rest of that seems to be similar. That is if the intention was to bring them in and settle them. Why bring them into Nigeria and ask them to roam their cows into the cities where people there are not Fulanis who are raising their cows on the same streets? So the intention there is not about settling them down in the northern Nigeria. Wherever is left in northern Nigeria that is yet to be politically, abrogated for whatever agenda they have, yeah, you can tell it is the same procedure. They're walking through the porous borders, okay, unchallenged. They settle into the forest that they choose. And after settling there, they are always ready to defend that settlement, even if they are settling in your forest, the same way they are doing in Kishi, they are doing in Shaki, they are doing in Okeogun, in Ojaodon, and so many other places like in Ekiti, what they are doing in Ondo, what they are doing in, Oshun. They are everywhere. What they are doing is that the borders are porous. All they need to do is, as Ghana continue to illegalize, this public grazing, if they find you and your cows in Ghana, you are going to go to jail and you are going to lose all the cows. That's their law in Ghana. So no Fulani will trade and say because they have this old grazing route. They won't try that in Ghana. They won't try that in Benin Republic. They won't try that in Togo. They won't even try that in Chad. They won't try it in Mali. They won't try all this in Cameroon. But they will try it in Nigeria, because all of them running away from all those places, they are now coming to Nigeria armed. So the government knows that you have rejected this, Abi, no wahala. Then the chaos will start, especially for us in Yorubaland in 2021. In 2015 to 2019, they were able to target the Middle Belt regions, the local areas, part of Kaduna, to so many other areas in Adamawa, places they know. They consider people living there as infidels. Listen to this. The religious undertone that the whole machination carries is enough for you as a Yoruba man not to wait until what happened in Jos, what happened in Benue, what happened in all these places where people are massacred and the government looked away, pretended to be going after those who are killing people. Meanwhile, whenever they get whenever they are caught, what happened? They get freed too. So you as a Yoruba person, a Yoruba man or a Yoruba woman, whatever influence you control, whatever influence you command, right? You should not wait until a Benue happened anywhere in Yorubaland, we have seen so many of our people in the forest doing this job. But at the same time, the number of these terrorists are increasing, and the same mode of operation is the same. They move en masse on bikes, okay? I was talking to someone and he said, well, everybody should go and get gun. It is beyond you getting a gun. Maybe you don't understand. I will explain to you. They call them bandits, but they are not bandits. They are terrorists. They come to kill, destroy, and spread fear, right? And whenever they are coming, they are not afraid to get killed. But you will have to fight for your life. And when they come in on their 100 bikes, imagine 100 people on 100 bikes with 100 AK-47 guns and yourself, probably with a handful of others. How do you think when that moment comes on your own farm, like I am talking to you now? Imagine it for a moment. You've been reading about people being killed on their farms in Benue, in Adamawa, in Yobe, in Niger. Niger State is not far from our own or your state. For some of you who don't know, Yorubaland share borders with these people. They call the place Okioya, rather, not far. And therefore, the spillover, and for those who know Niger State, and you know the landmass that Niger State in Nigeria covers, you will understand that the spillover of the half of Niger State now is in control and command of terrorists of all kinds. Boko Haram, ISWAP, Ansaru, bandit, Fulani terrorists, name it. All of them, they have taken over half of Niger State. So the spillover of that is coming to Yorubaland. Now, this spillover are going to be felt not by the people in the cities, not people in Osogbo, not people in Ibadan, not people in Abeokuta. They will be felt by the names that are going to be so strange to some of you when this event will begin to take effect, okay? When they begin to happen. So the effect of that is that you see people living in those border towns, border areas. They are majorly farmers, traders, okay? So they are going to be the victims of all these spillovers in Yorubaland. You as a Yoruba man, now imagine yourself in your retirement age, you settled down with your pension, set up a farm, because it's a good thing. You can relax, you can do what you love doing, you know, growing food and all of that. Something to do for the rest of your life, something that an average Yoruba man loves to do. Ask us, they will tell you. Everybody loves to relax on a farm, especially if you have enough capacity or money to build one. So now imagine this for a moment, that in your own retirement, your father, your dad, in his retirement with your mom, they decided to relocate to some of these areas that some of you don't even know the lurking danger around right now. And they decided to settle down, only for them to be invaded by people who don't have any address, they don't have any identity, they have nothing, but they need to spread fear. Because you know what? And they take your father away. Even though he has ammunition, yeah, he has his own guns, he can protect himself. He is a smart person. He knows, you know, all these stuff that you make up in your head. 100 killers invade your farm, yourself, your workers. You are at the mercy of the killers. Are they going to kill you or are they going to kidnap you? The option will be now open. There you are, fighting for your life. If they come brutally, as they always do, they may kill everybody, spare you and your family, then take you hostage. Like what happened yesterday in the same area where a farmer, a popular farmer, was kidnapped in the same Oyo state. They kidnapped him. They haven't released him. They went straight to his farm. Probably he felt protected on his own farm. Yorubaland, where you know that as everyone is encouraging mechanized farming, right? Yorubas, our own fathers, with the generational succession and all of that, you will still find thousands, hundreds of thousands of our fathers and our mothers who are still cultivating, a plot, 2 plots, an acre and more, farms, growing food in Yorubaland as we speak. Now, think about them. Because when they invade land, they don't go for one. They go for everyone around. And the purpose is one: kill everyone you can kill, kidnap those you can kidnap, take them into the deeper forest, and let people hear about the news and let them know they will be next. Think about that in Yorubaland. And that is how it starts. And more of them are working in day and night. And sooner than later, the people who are trying their best now, raising alarm, forming vigilantes, sharing information, they are going to be overwhelmed soon. You know why? Because the political will to protect Yoruba land is in the hands of those who are parading themselves as political leaders in Yoruba land. Until they see the danger, until they picture what happened in Borno and what is happening in Borno, what happened in Yobe, what happened in Benue, what happened in Adamawa, what happened in Niger, what happened in all these places, Taraba, and on and on and on and on. All these stories about Southern Kaduna, people being targeted and executed, kidnapped and executed, on and on and on and on. They should put them into context and begin to put each state in Yoruba land in this context. And imagine if it calls for concern that, number one, there is also a leadership failure on the part of those who claim to be in charge of Nigeria now. That impact of failure is shared and promoted by those who believe that if they raise their voice, if they raise the concern, if they make the move to ask for the genuine political will to protect the people before they become victims of what is lurking around now, they believe that they will raise eyebrows in the quarters of those who are supposed to be responsible for the protection of everyone in the first place. And who is that person? Buhari. Where is Buhari? Probably dead. A ghost president who is missing when his country is in turmoil and chaos, right? So where and who is going to push for that political will? Until they show concern. Until they show that indeed we don't want to be another Benue. We don't want our children kidnapped. Our children, girls, kidnapped, raped repeatedly by terrorists that we cannot fight, we cannot, we cannot arrest, we cannot prosecute. And if you try to fight them, the government will come for you. Let me tell you the intel I received recently, and I need to share that with you. Some of you may not take it serious. It doesn't matter. But you will not deny the fact that you heard about it somewhere whenever this comes to be. Part of the plan of the invasion of Yoruba land, they are already there, okay? Something is going to trigger the reactions, and before you know it, Miyeti Allah will begin to tell you that the people who are causing the problem in Shaki are the people of Shaki who don't want to accept that Fulanis can live anywhere they want. Listen to that. Oh. They are not Nigerians according to them. Oh. And I'll give you a quick instance here, just a refresher for you to understand this that I'm about to tell you. In 2015, when these killers were taking over different parts of the northern Nigeria, including the middle belt of Nigeria, okay, the likes of Elijah Muhammad, the likes of Femi Opono Adeshina, the likes of Garbage Shehu, and even Boko Haram himself, and the fake Pastor Ruga, Ikene Shatabandu, Oshubade, and even this same Bodilon thug, Tifnung, the Lagos Jagger bandit and Jagger Wiri, the Jagger addict of Lagos. They were telling us then that those who were committing those crimes, invading farms, kidnapping people, raping and killing women across the country, immediately Boko Haram became your presidents. They were not Nigerians. They were from Mali. They were from Chad. They were from Niger. They are from Cameroon. They were from Libya. They were giving you names of all these places where terrorists were reigning supreme. But few months down the line, they changed the tone. They said we should see those clashes as other farmers' clashes. Meanwhile, those who are victims, survivors, They said these people can be farmer clashes. If they were angry because people stole their cows, how come when they come back to fight those who steal their cows, they go into people's homes, they kill children, they kill women, they kill vulnerable people, and they can't find their cows tied in anybody's compound. They ransack the whole village, they set the whole village ablaze, and sometimes they rename the village and settle down at the crime scene. How can you say these people were herders and farmers clashes when the way they operate is not different from the way terrorists operate? How come, if they are looking for their cows stolen, if people killed them when they were stealing their cows, they should know that when Buhari became president, he immediately inaugurated a military task force whereby some soldiers, Nigerian Army, they saddled them with the responsibility of looking for anybody who is trying to steal Fulani cows. How can you call this fight farmers, herders clashes? And they are killing children. They are killing women. They said now, it's other farmers clashes. The only thing we are going to do is that we should give them land. How can you say people who came from Libya, people who came from Chad, people who came from Cameroon, from all these places, killing people in Nigeria, destroying their farmlands, raping the women? How can you now say we should give them land for peace? Then Femi Adesina came out and he said, your land or your farm. So before we know it, before we could say Jack, Pastor Ruga came out. They said we have to do something called rural grazing area. They are developing a bill that will mandate every state in Nigeria to give part of their land to the federal government of Nigeria for the settlement of Ruga, so that the Fulanis who invaded Nigeria, they will not be going on the street again, so that they can settle them down. That led to a lot of things. And until now, when they couldn't do that, that bring about this spread of fear. They need to spread fear. Since you no go gree. When they start killing and killing, you will fear. And they will kill people that some of you think are safe now because they are prominent, they are popular, they are royal fathers, they are religious leaders, they are bishops, possibly, they are Baba Geos, they are business, tycoons, they are billionaires, they are known people. So let me tell you the technique they use in the north to spread the fear enough to the point that those that are being killed in the north, that are considered mostly as infidels, the reason why you will not see them and feel so enraged. And when those that they are killing, who are mostly Christians, and considered infidels by other Muslims in northern Nigeria, this is the fact that they love to deny, but we'll continue to remind them, okay? So these areas where children are being kidnapped, where, you know what I mean? People are being killed, villages are being ransacked. They are 80% Christian areas, okay? Domiciled by Christians. And they call them infidels. They cannot protest it. They cannot fight it. Those traditional rulers they considered as Christians, they have killed most of them. I'm talking about paramount rulers. Go to southern Kaduna. Go to some other places in northern Nigeria as we speak. If they have not been kidnapped, they have been killed. And the reason for that, the reason for why the uproar is not much, is simply because of what I just told you. They are considered infidels. But how are they getting them? I'll give you an example. And that is what they are bringing to Yorubaland. And that is where you should probably stay awake. Okay? When they kidnap you, you are likely not going to make the news. You know why? Because your name is not, your second name is not Ifnumbu. Your second name is not Obasanjo. Your second name is not all these other people who are currently your favorite celebrities, political criminals in Yorubaland. So since your name is not, your second name is not that, when they kidnap you, you have to negotiate yourself out. And you will not really make the news. Maybe if people like us talk about you, that is just it. And the only way you will be scared and you will know that you are in danger and nobody is coming to save you, like those in the northern Nigeria are currently passing through, is this. How are they getting to know where these VIPs, how they move, where they go? something happened recently. The disbanded, as they call them, the band SARS, who are now called SWAT, they moved from Abuja to a state in eastern Nigeria to go and attend, to go and kill a king, a Igwe of a community who is attending a community meeting in a community town hall. That is how they do it. They track you. In December, Al Jazeera reported the news. Yes, it was a good rider. It was about Nigeria Defense. Nigeria Defense Intelligence Agency has acquired equipment that it can use to spy on its citizens, citizens' calls and text messages, according to a report by the University of Toronto's Citizen Lab, which researches digital surveillance, security, privacy, and accountability. Some of you may not have read about it. The Nigerian government, in December, this December, they acquired, a new spyware. This spyware, which they are actually also pushing in order for this same agenda, forcing all of you to go and do your, what do they call it again? NIN verification, okay? So that what they are doing is that they want to monitor your communication. They are doing that already because they can monitor your location through your phone. So when they wanted to kill the paramount ruler of Adara Kingdom in southern Kaduna, they invited him to a meeting in Kaduna. The government of Kaduna State invited him to a meeting because he's already championed a campaign among his own subjects, among his own citizens, that you need to defend yourselves. Self-defense is the issue. Okay, we will sponsor the young people as long as you can stand up and defend yourself. So these guys were doing the same thing. Before then, the Fulani terrorists will walk in. They will kill and kill and kill, and they will go away. Right? The following day, the Nigerian military will move into the area. They will start arresting the young people in the area. They will take them away, torture them, torture them, torture them. 2-3 weeks after that, another attack will be staged again in another part of the kingdom. So what did they do? When the young people began pushing back, the government said, the Kaduna state government, under the rulership of El Rufaya, the Kaduna little finger, so they invited Adara, the Adara kingdom, the paramount ruler of Adara kingdom. They invited him to a meeting with the state government. They call it peace meeting, truce, right? He went. On his way back, from that meeting, the meeting didn't hold. Okay, according to those who witnessed the meeting, the last meeting the man had with the governor, which is El Rufaya of Kaduna, it was lambasted by the governor. The governor said he was sponsoring terrorism simply because he's defending himself, defending his kingdom against invaders, right? So it was lambasted by the governor. When he left the meeting, and he was so close to his own kingdom, right, in southern Kaduna, Fulani terrorists, they crossed his way. They killed his security orderly, and they took him away with his wife. They raped his wife for good 1 week. Then they released his wife after killing him. Then, few days after that, a paramount ruler, they found his body on a road path. This is a true life story. So this is how they spread the fear. They can locate all your VIPs and they can do anything to them for you to know that, yes, Yorubas will tell you, we have people who will defend us. We have people who will stand up. Yes, we do. But you don't understand it when you are fighting against the state. You are not fighting to defend yourself against terrorists. The government, is the terrorist. And here is where those who are parading themselves as political class in Yorubaland, past and present, those who have the opportunity to unite Yorubaland against the project Nigeria, rather than do that in the interest of Yorubaland and Yoruba people, they have rather cashed on the bad arrangements. So they decided to become senators. They have decided to become governors. They have decided to become, ministers. They have decided to become public officials who will continue to tell their people that it is not that bad. Yes, it is bad, but it is not that bad. Here is my another worry. Nigerian government have this spy machine that they are already using. They are collating data. They are finding locations. They are looking at those people that they are going to target for assassination, for kidnapping, for immediate, disappearance, so to say, and you will never find them again. Where are they going to be taking them? They are not going to be taking them across the border. They are going to be taking them into the forest of Yorubaland. They will create forests that will become popular, like Sambisa Forest. These forests are vast. Yoruba leaders, those who are going to become the victims, by the way, yes, like I said, if they kidnap you, you may not become the news. You may not even make the news. Even if you make the news, your news may not last more than 24 hours. And like they are currently dealing with it in the northern Nigeria, Yorubas will have to get used to, they kidnapped this person on his farm. Oh, they have released him. Oh, they have killed him. Oh, they killed a so number of people. They kidnap more. These are the things that Yoruba politicians, if they genuinely love Yorubaland, these are the things that should call for concern. I mean, real concern. Or your state governor is leading the charge. It is not just raising the alarm. It is about arming the numbers of people and also be ready to stand by their people. Yoruba political leaders should be ready to stand by their people, no matter your political lineage, whether you are a PDP, APC, whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, whether you are from Maiyegun or you are from, Ijebu, in Ijebu, or you are from Ekiti, or you are from anywhere, any part of Yorubaland. Let humanity be part of you. Use that opportunity now. I am crying out because this is the most I can do by letting you know that you can compare the danger, how they became so vast, so big, so massive. Rather than the government to end it, they have turned it into business. At the expense of their own people, their lives, their livelihood, their existence, their mental health, their everything. Do you really think Yoruba people deserve to witness that? Do you really think we should politicize it too? Because that's what they have done in the north. Okay? They are not bothered that terrorists are killing their people the way they are bothered that they are going to lose power. Okay? So they are more interested in scheming, putting every measure in place that make them to continue to live within that power, even if their people are dying. So Yoruba collective leaders now, let's put this to them, right? Do they want to wait until we become the news again? Until the news of the person kidnapped is now reported that he's killed. They killed the daughter of a Yoruba leader, Afenifere leader. Papa Shoroti, remember? Now this year, they kill her. They killed her, and the person that is supposed to be Yoruba political leader, Tifnumbu, the jagger weary, the jagger bandit, the jagger addict of Lagos. He was asking the people. We said she was attacked by these Fulani terrorists who are also perpetrating armed robbery on our highways. Very soon, they are also perpetrating kidnappings on our highways. Okay, do you know the question the supposed Baron asked? He asked, where are the cows? You needed to prove and give him cows before he can see that a daughter to a supposed Afenifere leader, somebody that all of them went to commiserate with. This is the situation. This is living in denial that brought the northern Nigeria to this current state. The same denial is what is keeping them at the current state. Now, for those of us who are screaming from the southern Nigeria, screaming and screaming, asking them to stand up, protect the people, the danger that is looming, don't wait until you will become contractors. Military, imagine this, right? Why should they wait until they become government contractors, military contractors, supplying weapons in the name of fighting terrorism in Yorubaland as well? We are still battling with poverty, battling with underdevelopment. Our politicians are not interested in building education. They are not interested in developing healthcare. They are not interested in developing the next generation. They are more interested in the next elections. So are we also going to volunteer and forfeit every little thing that we currently have, the little peace, graveyard peace, by the way, are we going to wait until our people become refugees in Togo, in Benin Republic, in other places, begging for food on the street? Let me tell you another thing that you may probably not know. There is so much poverty in Yoruba land right now that the Yoruba politicians have done only one thing. In the last 21 years, in our recent memory, they have done only one thing. They have been managing poverty in Yoruba land. They have not grown Yoruba land to an economic viable region where the people, their spending power, their economic power is way far above any other part of Nigeria. We are living as destitute. We are living in shanties. Lagos State, that is meant to be the cynosure of all eyes. Lagos State is now the what? They call it the mega city. Where did you get the mega city mentality from? It is a mega slum. Now, think about all those people who are struggling through the poverty created by the past, present, and possibly the future Yoruba criminal leaders in the past 21 years alone. Now, we have, you see, we have a region that is also ready as a recruitment, ground for all manner of criminal activities, terrorism, terrorizing their own people for survival. You remember I told you something not a long time ago. I said, my worry, my greatest worry before this issue of Boko Haram invading Yorubaland, gradually, systematically, day by day, until it manifests, my greatest worries then were the people that the Yoruba political leaders, those who are claiming to be Yoruba leaders for the past 21 years, who drop no plan, no future plan. You see, let me take you back a bit, so that you understand what I'm trying to say here. Because when I told you, and I'm continuing to tell you, that, you see, Yoruba land is now a breeding ground for all manner of any 21st century crime that you can think of, including terrorism. Okay? I'll tell you how we arrived at that in a moment. Let me sip this. "21 years ago, the likes of Tifnumbu and so many of his co-travelers who are now parading themselves as Yoruba leaders in Yoruba land, those who are now claiming to be the opinion leaders, political opinion leaders in Yoruba land. 21 years ago, the mantle of leadership fell on their laps. Well, they were supposed to lead Yoruba land to prosperity, negotiate the best deal, the greatest prosperous deal for Yoruba land in Project Nigeria 21 years ago. They promised they would, but they didn't. 21 years after that, Yoruba land has grown by more than, 20 million. I'm talking about the generation of young people, that Yorubas. I'm talking about our sons and daughters that we produced in the last 21 years. These children were given birth to with no plan from the government. Those who are currently parading themselves as Yoruba leaders in Yoruba land, the reason why some of them will never earn our respect, they didn't earn any of our respect. For about over 10 million children born in Yoruba land in the last 21 years, because we had no plan for education, we had no plan for healthcare, we had no plan for infrastructure, we had no plan for any sort of prosperity of 21 years ago. But what we did was that we made them billionaires. Those who became your leaders in 21 years ago, they became billionaires. Their family members became billionaires. They became richer than the region that they promised prosperity. So the prosperity of the people became their prosperity. And rather than the people to become prosperous, Yorubas became destitute in their own land. We now work, the best of our brains are either outside Nigeria or they are working in different Chinese companies as laborers, as casual laborers, as, name it. Now, in Yoruba land, that is the limitation that 21 years of their leadership brought upon Yoruba land. So what did we get in return? I'll give you an example of that. So we now have in Yorubaland, especially in Lagos State, the children of 21 years ago that we had no plan for. They are now those who are going to make our lives hell for the next 21 years. So that those who are going to be born, the new children that are going to be born in Yorubaland for between now and 21 years, by the time those ones grow up, you see the last 21 years, there are those that will torment our lives. There are those that will join terrorism. There are those that will do anything for survival because there was never any plan for them. The society cares less about them, their existence, and the rest of that. That reality is about to hit us now. Go to Lagos. You have different people, different young boys and girls who are now called hoodlums, who are now cultists, who are forming different gangs, who are now making your life miserable. Lagos State alone, when I begin to list these names, you can tell what are others in your own area, in Ibadan, in Ogun State, in Oyo State generally, in Osun, in Ekiti, in Ondo. Then you will understand that you see this spillover of terrorism. As they have turned it into business in the northern Nigeria, those who are supposed to fight and protect us genuinely, they are going to turn it into business themselves. In the long run, you and I, that we never made the headlines, are going to be the victims. Listen, last 21 years, I've produced the following in Lagos State alone. Listen, we have 1 million boys. We have Fadiyi boys. We have Ereko boys. We have Akala boys. We have Awawa boys. Ijesha boys. Awala boys. Shita boys. Nokia boys. No salary boys. 1 hour boys. Ochodi boys. No Mercy boys, Aguda boys, Night Cadets, Black Scorpion, Akamo boys, Omokasari confraternity, Paragang confraternity, mainly teenage girls. This means that these ones in this cult group in Lagos State, they are teenagers. They fall within the bracket that I just told you of now. That bracket of last 21 years of failed political leadership in Yorubaland. Even though they are telling you now, Yoruba Ronu, if I have to tell you that Yoruba should Ronu, your Yoruba Ronu should not be to Ronu to make these people, the people who made these children, the criminals they are today, the people who failed and they continue to fail to plan for any future of anybody. Next 20 years in Yorubaland, you will get more of these names. And you know that. You will agree with me on that, won't you? These are the same boys that they have in northern Nigeria, but they have different names. They call them Boko Haram. They call them Ansaru. They call them ISWAP. They call them bandit. They call them Fulani terrorists. They call them Miyetiala. They even have a leader. His name is Buhari. So from the north, who are the collateral damage? The collateral mumus. In Yorubaland, we have our own collateral mumus. So if I'm going to tell you to Ronu, then you can tell that the failure of those who sworn to make Yorubaland great, those who sworn and be benefiting from all the goodies of Yorubaland, politically, religiously, traditionally, those people have failed. And if they don't see any reason for them to trace now, here is the good news. The spyware that the Nigerian government is buying, the spyware is to target all of these prominent Yoruba people, Yoruba leaders. You will begin to hear the story. I have said this many times, but it's good if I have to remind you. Okay? You will begin to see some Yoruba prominent Yorubas, male and female, they will begin to go missing. Okay? People will begin to realize that they have been wasting their time being scorpion boys, cheetah boys. They can actually go and form their own gang in any forest in Yorubaland, and they can take anybody hostage, collect money. At least everybody will just call them bandits. Do you understand the danger of that? Do you? Okay, maybe you don't. In the long run, when this whole thing begins to cascade into the snowball into what we know it will snowball into, right? Those with their own agenda of spreading fear getting rid of you from your small villages and getting rid of you to the point that when you raise alarm, they will tell your politician, do you want to die or you want to go missing? You better support us. There's already an emir there. If people want to go back to their villages, they can no longer go to this part anymore. You are going to be forced to accept all of this, or you are going to be forced to defend your land. Now, which one will you do first? Get killed, chased away, then turn around to come and fight for your land? Or begin to question those who are telling you that 2023 is more important, even when people are going missing in Kishi, in Shaki, and other areas. But 2020 is more important, and you should ronu. If I have to ask you to ronu about your safety, would that be too much for you? If I ask you to ronu about the safety of people you love, even if you are not in Nigeria, yeah, I'm not in Nigeria, but you know how scared this is, right? It can happen anywhere. And if you have never grown up in any of those, if you have never grown up in towns, villages, but you have always been the city guy, you have no idea the description of the danger that we are talking about. Imagine that for a moment. When people come in and their own agenda is to treat you as infidels, then force your hand politically by using all the tools they have. And if you resist them, trust me, Benue people know better. Even though now they have started standing up again, that no, we are not going to continue to be part of that barbarity. Toju, thank you very much, Baba. As usual, I got your super sticker there, and I've also got your super chat too. So I'm going to read that out. Thank you, Maiyegun, for lending your voice. It is going to be an absolute revolution. That is what it is going to end it, in my own opinion, because those who are telling you, do you understand now? The point is this. Those who are telling you to ronu towards favoring the same failed politicians, those who are telling you or confusing you, because there are those who are confusing you, telling you that they know better, that if the likes of these current political criminals in Yorubaland, who have no interest of us, they have no interest of anybody at all. So if they continue to tell you that these people love Yorubaland, they started Amotekun, can they publicly, all of them, including Tifnumbu and all his gang in Lagos, can they call for a regional security meeting on behalf of Yoruba people, Yorubaland, and table all these security concerns in the interest of Yorubaland without using politics at all? Can they do that? Can they do that for you before 2023? Is that too much? Even if you want to be politically, emotionally attached to them, let me say you have your right to do that. Don't let me question that. But in the interest of Yorubaland, do you not think that rather than say it, they should do it? Call for a regional security summit, emergency security summit that include all the traditional rulers, all the religious leaders, all the political leaders, all the youth leaders, everyone that matters, women group and everybody, and bring them into this meeting where they will agree that something is wrong. And if they have foresight, even if they don't have any foresight of building any future for Yorubaland, can they at least, I'm talking to you now. Yes, you love Tifnumbu. It is your right, okay? Don't mind me calling you Buhari Din or Buhari Didiri, okay? Even though you are a Buhari Din or a Buhari Didiri, or even if I call you an obedient fool, an humbled slave, or a sophisticated moron, well, you love it. Agree that you are okay with that simply because you love Tifnumbu, Abi. But for your own safety, for the safety of people you love, for the safety of the land you love, or don't you love Yorubaland, do you not think it is the right thing to do? If they indeed care about Yorubaland, I mean, is that not the right thing to do? Is it not the right thing now for them to begin the process of all of them agreeing without politicizing that Yorubaland should raise funds to protect Yorubaland, and every Yoruba son and daughter? We have many, man. We have so many of us who are technologically so genius. They will do a lot, and Yorubaland will be covered. Yorubaland will be protected. Can they gather political will to do that without them thinking that they are exposing the failure of Buhari? Let's say you have your sense for a minute. I'm talking to you now, you, Buhari idiot. Okay, sorry. I'm not going to call you Buhari idiot. I'm going to call you Buhari fool. Or, sorry, I would rather just call you Buhari Din. Do you not think it is the right thing to do? I mean, for the in the interest of all of us, no be person where they are lie. Tifnumbu will be president over. Or Tifnumbu want to be president over dead bodies like Boko Haram. Do you not think that's the right thing to do? It's not asking for too much. It is not asking at all. That is wrong. So asking them to come together, which we know is not likely to happen. When people tell you, okay, I keep telling people, I say, listen, if Yorubaland will be safe, it will be because the political criminals in Yorubaland will begin to tell themselves the truth. Okay? You don't need to beg anybody. You see what is coming now? You don't need to beg anybody to do the right thing. But I'm going to tell you this, that you should never, ever be blackmailed into any political agreement for 2020 as a Yoruba man or a Yoruba woman. In your own interest, they are going to emotionally blackmail you. They are going to tell you things that they have told you before, because they know that they have unleashed enough trauma on you and your household in the last 5 years. And in the next 3 years, it is going to double. And you're going to get more frustrated, scared that they are going to then tell you that they have the chance of saving you. The people who have the chance of saving you now to keep you alive, they won't do it, because that is likely going to hurt their political agenda too. So they would rather sacrifice you and try to blackmail you into believing. Let me put it this way, maybe you understand it better. When the Boko Haram were kidnapping and killing people in northern Nigeria, in 2010, 2011, 2012, 14, 13, 14, 15, 2014, 2015, when they escalated the whole thing between 2013, 2014, right? The political criminals in northern Nigeria, including Boko Haram, they tapped into it. They politicized it rather than support and protect their own people. But they knew then that if they managed to stop the terrorism, if they managed to do anything then to stop it at all, right, it was going to be of a very good thing to the person they want to get rid of. So they had to politicize it. So they began pumping money into it. They began giving cover, intel. They began infiltrating even the military in order for us to sabotage the effort of securing the lives of their own people. So it became beneficial to them politically in 2015 because the people were already scared, frightened. The message of fear, the campaign of fear was successful. People now believe that somebody must come and save them. And who is that person? Boko Haram. And whatever lie they told them, they believed. Do you get that now? So those people today, as they are today, if you still tell them that Boko Haram is going to contest in 2023, the level of that manipulation that time, they believe that Boko Haram is trying to save them. Now, some bad people, no one may Buhari help them. So they will still vote for him again. And those in the South, they seem to have also learned this violent way of coercing their people into their own political advantage. This is where Tifnumbu is suspicious. That is where we should suspect Tifnumbu in this manner. Anybody telling you that Tifnumbu wants Yoruba to be saved, Yoruba to prosper, ask them. It's been 21 years. How far with our prosperity in Yorubaland? How far? How many of your graduates are currently working the real job in Yorubaland as we speak? How come for 21 years they didn't have the political will, the strong mind to electrify the entire Yoruba land? At least let's see them do it, but they didn't. Abi? So if they tell you that he loves Yorubaland so much, can they at least do something to protect the people they want to lead? That's the question. Because the guys are in, the terrorists are in, and they are so in to us that, you see, this spy machine that they have, this spy machine will be good. They will use that. They're already using that anyway. We have seen royal fathers being kidnapped on their way from one town to another in Yorubaland. We have seen so many big men kidnapped too, who paid their own ransom gradually without making noise. Do you get that now? But what happened is that with the spyware they have, their spyware is not just to track you, your text message and all of that. It is to track the text message of those they want to target. Now, if you see the news that, oh, they attacked the Are Onokakanfo of Yorubaland, right? And they killed the social numbers of people around him, but Are Onokakanfo survived that attack. Are you not going to be scared? When they show you a Zulum in Yorubaland, they say, oh, the governor of your state, who is making mouth, okay, let us attack him. So the likes of Tefnumbu and his gang, they will likely just politicize it. And that is my worry. That is my worry. That is what brought this northern Nigeria to this chaotic, destructive state they have today. They politicized it because it is to their own advantage. They may give you another Zulum whereby they will kill everybody around the governor for your state, and the governor himself will survive. And then you will realize that Wala don't day. They will not do it in Ibadan. They will target him when he's outside Ibadan. They can target anybody. Once you are outside your city and you are moving, and this their spyware says you are en route, and they have all your numbers, they have everything. So if nobody should be worried, I'm calling on those who claim to be Yoruba leaders now. If you manage to see my video, don't call it a rant, or maybe you should call it a rant. Then, when this happens to you, I will come back here to remind those who will still be alive, to say, I told you. So they have this whole thing deployed. They are not deploying this spyware to track terrorists. Do you understand that now? They are going to deploy them to help terrorists track your prominent people in Nigeria. Okay? They will kidnap some for money because they will need money for weapons. They will kidnap some people to make statements. They will kill them, dump their body on the roadside. And when you begin to see the news like this, the videos of Maiyegun, they will begin to make sense to you. Then you will begin to ask yourself, who should we run to? Then you realize that there's nobody to run to. The political leaders themselves, some of them will abandon some of their villages. Some of them will abandon traveling. You will see people flying from Abeokuta to Lagos on chartered chopper. Now that they have managed to complete or nearly complete the Lagos-Ibadan rail line, very soon, if nothing is done, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway that they have intentionally left uncompleted for 21 years, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway will likely turn around to become Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, Kogi-Lokoja Abuja Expressway, or Maiduguri-Damaturu Expressway, and all those motorways in Nigeria that if you go there, you have to make sure that you have saved enough for your ransom because you can get taken. And when you get taken, don't expect any security to come for you. So I'm calling on those prominent Yorubas who will likely see my videos. If you have not been thinking along this line, I may have called you names and all of that. Yes, you claim to be political leaders, Abi. So here is your responsibility. Take over your responsibility and don't politicize it. Call for a regional security summit in Yorubaland now. Don't wait. We have received a report of people being killed in Ekiti by a Fulani terrorist. We have received a report of people being kidnapped and killed in Ondo by a Fulani terrorist. We have seen people being kidnapped and killed in Oyo by Fulani terrorists. We have seen people being kidnapped and killed in Ogun State, Yewa area of Ogun State by Fulani terrorists. Some of these news are not making headlines simply because those being kidnapped and killed are not prominent enough. Ask them, those who claim to be Yoruba governors and all of that. You called a security meeting once, remember? That was when you started Western Nigeria Security Network, which is Amotekun. Now, Amotekun is becoming a joke. Amotekun is becoming a regular stop and search Nigerian police who are not looking to stop crime, but to benefit and profit from crime.
So Amotekun is meant to be armed technologically, not like one antelope chasing hunters in the bush, in the forest. They were supposed to be Yoruba eyes, better than what the Nigerian police and Nigerian army can do. You need to show this. There should be commitment from all the Yoruba states, all the Yoruba political leaders, all the Yoruba business moguls, all the Yoruba genius techno, I don't know, all these guys who can make things happen. This should be a flooding of intelligence and brains and ideas on how to protect Yoruba land, how to map Yoruba land security-wise, how to connect, send distress calls, how people will use distress contact, how they can easily alert any nearby security post whenever they sense that they are under attack. How are they going to be transferring intelligence reports in Yoruba land? How? All these things requires resources. They require money. They require huge of it. Rather than buying yourself properties in Dubai, stealing your people's money, buying yourself all this and all of that, right? Invest in this security genuinely and invest in the people. Importantly, which is the most important. When your people are not seeing crime as a way of survival, when Yorubas are not seeing taking over a garage, when Yoruba young boys and girls are not seeing gang as a way of survival in Yoruba land, when they can begin to see the prosperity of the land, make a better deal for Yoruba land in Nigeria. Start it by taking a position on security. Until our people become victims, you can call my own, you can call my video rant. But you are not going to call my video rant when people become victims. And that is something I dread a lot. People are already becoming victims, but when they become one that you can no longer deny, is that when they will stand up, or they're just going to politicize it. The issue of protecting yourselves, great as it stands, is not working in Nigeria, like I said, right? When those you want to protect yourself against are being funded and protected by the government that promised to protect you, then you will have to fight two people. You have to fight two terrorists, okay? The ones that come to kill you at first, and those that are coming to clear your bodies and deny that such never happened. I can't imagine us in Yoruba land, watch your royal fathers, any of Yoruba royal fathers, we are already seeing them being kidnapped. Some of you just didn't pay attention. You should begin to pay attention now, okay? So some of these Yoruba obas are being kidnapped. Some of them are being tortured. Some of them are being forced to trek into the bush, into the forest, kilometers, hours into the forest, until they pay ransom to be freed again. When we were growing up, they were telling us that you cannot kidnap a king. You can't kidnap a king or anything that is related to the king. You cannot kidnap, the staff of office of a king. But all that are now taboos. They are no longer really jails, because criminals in Yoruba land, who are foreigners in Yoruba land, are under the cover of the Nigerian government. They have done so terribly bad that they don't give a damn about Yoruba. They don't give a damn about all those all our orishas or anything, culture, tradition or anything. Kabiyesi will trek in the bush. If they capture Ooni of Ife, they will make him walk. That is how terrible they are. Adara of Adara Kingdom was a paramount ruler. He was equivalent of any paramount ruler in Yoruba land to his own people. He had kingdoms. He had towns, villages under his own kingship. Do you know one thing? He was killed like a common dog. Even you can't even treat a dog like that and not be charged for homicide, for manslaughter. Honestly speaking, they raped his wife in his presence. They tortured him, and then they killed him. Then they dumped his body on the roadside. That was somebody who was representing his own tradition, who was the head of his own people. It was like the tradition itself. Imagine someone do that to Alake of Egbaland. Even Oba Lagoon of Lagos, as thuggish as he is, you will never want to see Oba Lagoon being kidnapped and tortured and shot and killed by some ragtag criminals who have no address but live in the bush. But they will never be caught. And if they ever get caught, they will get freed, because the government and the federal is giving them amnesty. So think about that. Think about if they capture Ooni of Ife let me tell you those who are actually who are currently at the prone of being victims too, and you should be concerned. Oyo State, Oyo and Osun, these are two states in Yorubaland that share borders, not just with northern Nigeria, they share border with Niger State in northern Nigeria. They also share border with some other West African, what do you call it, Islamic regions too, where terrorists are crossing borders, the porous borders. Do you know those who are in danger of that area? Your paramount rulers, those who you believe that speak to God, or near Ife, probably will have to start flying from Ile-Ife. They will have to start using an aeroplane or something to carry him now from Ile-Ife to anywhere he's going to. Because you see that road from Ibadan to Ogbomoso, you see Old Ibadan Road or Old Ife Road, they call it, has become a death trap now for God knows for how long. These areas and the forests nearby are occupied by those who are now bandit kidnapping people on that road. Or near Ife is prone to that kidnapping, becoming a victim. If you have not thought about it, maybe you should think about it now. Oba Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, is also a susceptible or someone who is also prone to become a victim, or else they will have to devise another security means of moving these paramount rulers from that region. Shaki is a Yoruba region. Ogbomoso is a Yoruba, where you have a Shohun of Ogbomoso. These are powerful, traditional Oduduwa sons who are kings in their regions. They are prone to be attacked, they are prone to be kidnapped, and they are prone to be killed. So if you have not been thinking about what I'm trying to tell you, maybe when you watch this video again, you will begin to put one and two together, and you will realize that I know they are going to politicize it, but raising the alarm now, telling you that you should not underplay what Seyi Makinde said. Even though the current security structure in Yorubaland will not protect anybody for long, it will only buy gun and bullets for those who can afford to buy guns and bullets. And who are those who have guns and bullets? Those your VIPs. But we have seen it on record in recent times that when these people come, they don't come in 5, 6, or 10s. They come in hundreds. And when you get you get overpowered, you get outnumbered, you get outmanned, you get outgunned. So, for even within your security people, are you going to be carrying 100 people with guns to defend you when 100 terrorists on bikes stops you? Think about that. Maybe you have no idea of what I mean. And they will kidnap these people for money or for the fear message, which is the fear mongering. And you will have nobody to call to defend you. Would you not agree with me that if they indeed love Yorubaland, is it not the time now for all of them, first message, to let the whole world know that they have Yoruba have leaders that love Yorubaland? Is it not the time now for the likes of Tifnumbu, and his gang, who are parading themselves as Yoruba leaders? Some of them you call your leaders. Is it not time for them to call for a regional security summit and table all these security concerns, and then begin the process of raising funds as government? Is it not the time for them to use the political will they used in setting up Amotekun? At least Amotekun get law. So if anybody is telling you now that they cannot do much, Amotekun is toothless, it's because the politicians want to make Amotekun toothless. And if you know this, and you will know peace. I'm honest with you. If you know this, that Amotekun is established with a very, very legal, it's established on a very legal foundation. There is law set up by the state assemblies in Yorubaland. All of them, they passed it into law, and that law established Western Nigeria Security Network. Western Nigeria Security Network. That's the name they gave to it. There is law. So why can't they now sum up the political will to protect these people and protect us? and not let our people die of hunger, because they will soon stop going to farms. Maybe everybody is complaining now. There's no money, there is hunger. Somehow, some people are still growing their food in Yorubaland. They are still feeding their families. They are not looking for too much luxuries. They are sending their children to school whenever the schools are opened. They are making small, little things. Not because government is giving them anything. Not because all these political leaders in Yorubaland are doing anything. Not because all these Yoruba governors are doing enough to keep our farmers on the farm. Now, protecting them, protecting Yoruba farmers is now something. One moment. Protecting Yoruba farmers should be something that shouldn't come with any political attache. Amotekun should not be on the street looking at people's phones. Amotekun has nothing to do with cultists and the rest of them on the street. Let your police deal with that. Go into those forests. Disarm those people like you did in Kishi, like you are currently trying to do in Shaki. There are more forests occupied by these terrorists in Yorubaland. Let them use and let them come up together. Let them come together, rather, and sum the political will that will give the political boost to Amotekun's activities in Yorubaland. Let there be volunteers. If you have to create this as a job for Yoruba sons and daughters who are smart, by the way, that can work for you and map the entire Yoruba land for you, security-wise, and they will link everything all together, and the security of securing Yoruba land will be cheaper than you can imagine. Why can't they do that? I'm going to see you later this evening, if time permits. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day, and see me later from 6 p.m. tonight. Good evening or good afternoon.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Tí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun.
All right.